What up, boys, and welcome back to another video. So, the most frequent question that I get asked lately is, of course, going to be Shadowlands related, right? And that is, what are my intentions? Like, how am I going to make golds in Shadowlands, like early on? Like, which way will I use to make gold from the start? And what is the best way to make gold at a new expansion? That's always like every single time we get close to an expansion, everyone wants to know what the best farm is, right? So in this video, we're going to talk about like the what I'm going to do personally, and of course the best ways to obtain gold in the beginning of an expansion. So the best way to obtain gold is something that I never do myself because I consider it to be boring to do. But I can definitely see how a lot of people think that it's a shit ton of fun to do it, and that will be crafting. So the people who make the most golds at the start of an expansion, no doubt people that do crafting. And it's really popular and really talked about like with the Dark Moon decks. And in BFA, for instance, like every expansion mode, like in BFA, people made like we're talking like millions on top of millions daily just crafting the Dark Moon decks with inscription. And right now with Shadowlands, the Dark Moon decks aren't as good as they were in BFA, but I still think that you can make a shit ton of gold doing Dark Moon decks with inscription. But obviously we're not talking inscription only. Like blacksmithing, tailoring, leatherworking as well. Just crafting, like the basic blue items for level 60 that you can with these professions. Like mass crafting that, pumping it on the auction house, and just don't give a shit about farming. You don't want to farm when you craft, right? The big boys, they have like a decent capital of golds when they move into the new expansion, and they pretty much just spend their gold buying out materials. It doesn't matter if they like pay a premium to get the materials, as long as they can craft it into an item and sell it for a profit, right? So they don't spend any time in farming because it's just not worth the time. It's not efficient enough to farm for the mats. So that's like what the big boys are doing. Now, in regards of which profession is best, it's hard to say. It really is. I think that enchanting is going to be super good in Shadowlands. But then again, I don't do any crafting myself. But if you guys want to make the most gold as you possibly can, keep in mind you will have a lot of competition, experienced people who are doing this every single expansion. But definitely go with crafting professions, and just you don't need to level up anything before the expansion. Just whenever the expansion launches, go and pick up the Shadowlands professions, buy materials, and just level it up. And then you want to craft items from the beginning. Like that's it. That's definitely like I couldn't beat it myself, even though I went ham at the start of BFA and I made a shit ton of gold. Still got beaten by the crafters. The thing that I did though was to flip the materials. You guys probably remembered, like in BFA, how horrible the auction house was in the beginning. It was so slow. So basically, I would just spam trade chat with like a cash on delivery message, like wanted to buy all ore, all herbs, cash on delivery, and I paid market price. It's just that I took all that herb and ore and I listed it in stacks of 200, and I sold it for like twice the market value because the crafters, they couldn't be arsed to buy out like a single ore or a stack of like 5 ores, so they would rather pay a premium for my stack of 200. Now they revamped the auction house though, and there's no such thing as stacks. You can still make a shit ton of gold if you like control the price of a market, but that is risky. There's a lot of people playing it early on in the expansion, and you need a shit ton of gold to keep on buying, to keep on controlling the price and the market on a said material. But number one way to make gold, this is, by the way, this is my opinion. Obviously, it's not like this is written in stone, but that would be crafting, as I said. Really, like if you guys have the professionals already, you can already open up, let's say, blacksmithing tab, and you can go to unlearned, right? And you guys can already take a look at the items and where to get the plans and patterns to craft the items in Shadowlands. And the good thing is, none of these are locked behind any like BOP material, that also means that like it's going to be way easier for you to craft, but it's also going to be way easier for people to join in on crafting because it's not a hassle. They didn't have to shuffle items and so on to get the BOP material. But I like the fact that you guys can choose like secondary stats on the items to sell them, so it's way less RNG when you craft. That's really really cool. But that's the crafting part, and I'm not going to speculate in like the best way to or the best crafting professions. Obviously, the big boys are doing every profession, right? So they just craft on their blacksmithing and inscription tune, log over to their tailoring and leatherworking tune. Like they got it all on the auction house. But that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the number 2 farm, in my opinion, the second best way of making gold. And that would be doing Shadowlands BOE farming. So basically just taking 7 people with me, forming a 2x4 open world farming group, and just grinding mobs for epic BOEs. Epic BOEs, at the start of an expansion, they can go for 1 million plus easily. And normally, the price on cloth as well is so damn high, so I'm going to have tailoring profession, just so I get additional cloth whenever we kill humanoid mobs. And, like, in BFA, I made way above 100,000 gold an hour, even with no epic or mount drops, right? It was just in green items, that I put on the auction house in BFA because people would buy them out to scrap them. But now I'm going to disenchant them, and I'm going to have tailoring for extra cloth, and then obviously the raw gold. So we made easily 100,000 gold an hour, like steady, without getting any epics or mounts. So in Shadowlands, I'm still gonna form groups for 2x4, and I'm just gonna farm the shit out of epics because I think it's way more fun. To be grinding mobs and looting, and if you're lucky, you get an epic. Maybe you get 2 epics in an hour, and you sell them for a couple of 100,000 gold to 1 million plus. I sold a bunch of items for 700 to like 1.2 million in the first days of BFA. It was really sick, and I think it's a lot more fun than crafting. So that's why I'm going to do that. Now, on the third place, we have a pretty obvious one, which is gathering professions, right? I consider 2x4 open world farms a better goal per hour than doing the gathering. Like I've done both gathering and 2x4 for world drop epic BOEs, and every single time the average gold per hour on doing 2x4 for epics has been better than herbalism, mining, and skinning. Even though herbalism, mining, and skinning is really damn good, and you don't have to depend on anybody else. And I really like the system of mining, for instance, in Shadowlands, where you have like specific ore for specific zone, and there's a lot of different ones. I think it's really cool, and I think there's a lot of gold potential, but it's way more repetitive, even though, like, I understand doing a 2x4 farm, killing the same mob over and over again is also repetitive. It's still more RNG that makes it more fun than circling the same route and picking up flowers and mining. Even though, when you're making over 100,000 gold, picking up flowers, I mean, it's more fun, right? It just naturally, whenever you pick up a herb, like, oh shit, made gold, made stacks. Like, it's way more fun to do it in a start of an expansion. But that's my plan for Shadowlands. And if you guys are interested and you haven't already, you can still buy this 0 to 10 million gold guide using the code Shadowlands for 50% off. And this book will be updated in Shadowlands as well. So anyone who has bought the book, they will receive this one for free, like the updates for free. And I'm also going to be updating the book with Shadowlands content farms. Like whenever Shadowlands drops, I'm going to find farms, find routes, everything, upload. Of course, like YouTube is still my main platform where I upload stuff, but there will be some things that are like specific to the book only. There already is. I did like things that are specific to the book only. But that's my entire plan. Well, not the entire plan. That's my plan for the beginning of Shadowlands. So if you guys got any questions whatsoever, leave them down below in the comment section. And you can find the link to buy the book pinned in top of the comment section and description. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see all of you guys in tomorrow's video. But until then, bye bye.